Hello everyone, today we are on Proverbs chapter 19. It is the 19th day of our study. We will be reading again from the Message Bible. Better to be poor and honest than a rich person no one can trust. Ignorant zeal is worthless, haste makes waste. People ruin their lives by their own stupidity. So why does God always get blamed? Wealth attracts friends as honey draws flies, but poor people are avoided like a plague. Perjury won't go unpunished. Would you let a liar go free? Lots of people flock around a generous person. Everyone's a friend to a philanthropist. When you're down on your luck, even your family avoids you. Yes, even your best friends wish you'd get lost. If they see you coming, they look the other way. Out of sight, out of mind. Grow a wise heart, you'll do yourself a favor. Keep a clear head, you'll find a good life. The person who tells lies gets caught. The person who spreads rumors is ruined. Blockheads shouldn't live on Easy Street, any more than workers should give orders to their boss. Smart people know how to hold their tongue. Their grandeur is to forgive and forget. Mean-tempered leaders are like mad dogs. The good-natured are like fresh morning dew. A parent is worn to a frazzle by a stupid child. A nagging spouse is a leaky faucet. House and land are handed down from parents, but a congenial spouse comes straight from God. Life collapses on loafers, lazy bones go hungry. Keep the rules and keep your life. Careless living kills. Mercy to the needy is a loan to God, and God pays back those loans in full. Discipline your children while you still have the chance. Indulging them destroys them. Let angry people endure the backlash of their own anger. If you try to make it better, you'll only make it worse. Take good counsel and accept correction. That's the way to live wisely and well. We humans keep brainstorming options and plans, but God's purpose prevails. It's only human to want to make a buck, but it's better to be poor than a liar. Fear of God is life itself, a full life and serene, no hasty surprises. Some people dig a fork into the pie, but are too lazy to raise it to their mouth. Punish the insolent. Make an example of them. Who knows? Somebody might learn a good lesson. Kids who lash out against their parents are an embarrassment and disgrace. If you quit listening to your child and strike off on your own, you'll soon be out of your depth. An unprincipled witness desecrates justice. The mouths of the wicked spew malice. The irreverent have to learn reverence the hard way. Only a slap in the face brings fools to attention. You might observe that since about chapter 10, Solomon disperses his wisdom with little bursts of observances of human nature. And it just goes to show that humans haven't really changed a whole lot. We pretty much function in the same way. Just these certain little things that he puts in there. Haste makes waste. We still go by that proverb. Wealth attracts friends as honey draws flies. This is really true. People say this when they win the lottery, that people just come out of the woodwork. But then it goes down, it says, but poor people are avoided like a plague. He's just noticing human nature and how we act towards people. All of a sudden we're great friends with somebody who is, come into money, but then we avoid people because they're poor, they have nothing to give us. And that's really, it's not about how you're treating the poor in general. It's just your human nature to, well, that person has nothing to give me. This is how we are, especially without God. It is with God that we build a moral foundation, and we decide to to not go to people just because of their money or something that they're able to give us. But I want to go and talk a little bit about resentment. Verse 3, it's an observation about human nature, but it goes a little bit further than that. It says in the Message Bible again, people ruin their lives by their own stupidity, so why does God always get blamed? And it's pretty much the same in the other translations. The Amplified says, the foolishness of a man subverts his way, ruins his affairs, then his heart is resentful and frets against the Lord. So when we do foolish things, and the result of that foolish thing is disaster, or it's just not how we want it to be. And foolishness could be from laziness to just not following advice, not seeking advice, thinking we can do everything by ourselves, stepping out of our depth. As further down in chapter 19 it says, when things go badly, we as humans want to blame somebody other than ourselves, something other than ourselves. And I think one of the main people that we blame is God, because he's invisible, and it's that way, it's not our fault, and as far as we know, no one's been struck with lightning in the last couple centuries, and it's just an easy scapegoat for us. But when you don't take responsibility for things that have gone wrong due to your either inaction or foolish actions, and I'm not talking about things that just hit you, like a sickness in the family or an accident or whatever, that's sort of a different category, although you can still become resentful. But when you have a disaster due to your actions or inactions, if you spend your time blaming God, the result is usually resentment. And resentment is a killer. Resentment really leads you to be so hardened in your heart and just so angry. It creates you as a victim. And not a victim of your foolish actions and decisions, but a victim of outside forces. And when you become a victim and you are surrounding yourself in resentment, you can harden your heart so much to the point where you don't even care about other people. Because in your head, you deserve more than what you have gotten, and you cannot stand the thought that somebody else should get what you think you deserve, or that things go well for someone, probably due to their good decisions or their good actions, but you disregard that and you just feel resentment towards what they have gotten that you have not. I know this from experience. When I went into sort of my victim status a couple years ago, and this is even as I was trying to come back to the Lord, but I hadn't really dealt with a lot of my past issues, and so I still had this mindset of victimhood, and a lot of things were I had a lot of stress, little babies, I kind of felt going off the rails, and so I allowed the resentment to just feel like surround me like a thick blanket. And it really hardened my heart to seeing all the good things that were happening, and it, especially as a woman, hardened me against everything that my husband was doing. I thought that I was doing so much more, and it took a lot for me to switch that mindset. I really had to break off a lot of stuff. When I started to see that the resentment was building up to the point where I almost didn't care what happened, I knew something was really bad. I sought counseling. We got through it, but it was hard going, and it was something. Resentment is something that will kind of build up like a frog in boiling, in water that's boiling. He'll just sit in it, and so you'll build this up, and you'll read things that feed your resentment, and your resentment will grow. And you'll talk about things that feed your resentment, and your resentment will grow. Resentment destroys you, hardens you, and then you get to the point where you just don't care who else you take down. Because in the moment of taking somebody down, it feels good. You will get to the point where you literally do not care who comes down with you, because you want somebody to be in your hell. So I just want to challenge you, in order to not get to that point, I challenge you to stop and go back and even write down or speak out, make a video, try to talk your way or write your way back to the root of what happened, and find the action or inaction that sort of started you on that path to other poor actions, other poor decisions that led to the disaster. And I just challenge you to do that in order to not become resentful, to take responsibility, as Solomon and many other people who have written in the Bible challenge us to do. Take your responsibility for yourself, and that way you will lead a better life. The more responsibility you can bear, well, the better your life will be. So that is it for chapter 19. There's a lot more that we could get into, but I'm trying to make these videos not too long. Please click like, hit the subscribe button. If you want to know more, hit the bell so you get notifications, and we'll be back tomorrow with chapter 20. Bye.